This conference will now be recorded.
Hi, and a very warm welcome to all who have joined today and are a part of this webinar series, which is being hosted by Eduloans along with its financial partner, ICICI Bank. We have with us today Mr. Nikhilesh K. He is the product manager at ICICI Bank. I'm Gurpreet Singh Sethi. I'm the product manager at Eduloans, who will be hosting it along with Nikhilesh. And we will be taking the students through the topic today, which is the right way of funding your education for your overseas studies. Towards the end of the session, we will have a question and answer session where Mr. Nikhilesh K will be providing answers to the queries that the students would have, and y'all can feel free to post your questions in the chat box, which is towards the right of your screen. We are also recording this session, and this session will be available to view in the next 2 to 3 days on the Eduloans website, and you can feel free to approach or to visit the website and see this recording in the next 2 to 3 days. So now I hand over this session to Nikhilesh, who will be taking us further through this lovely presentation that has been prepared by ICICI Bank. Nikhilesh, you may take over now.
Yes. Thank you so much, Gurpreet, for this wonderful opportunity provided by Eduloans team to directly interact with the students and parents. I'm really excited. So, hello everyone. This is Nikhilesh, and I am the product manager working in ICICI Bank in Education Loan Department. So, let's start our webinar session today. Before starting, I would like to tell you the agenda of this session. So the main agenda will be we'll be discussing three things. The first thing is what are the funding options that usually a student and a parent consider whenever a student got an opportunity to do their higher studies, either in India or in abroad. And also we'll see the benefits of going ahead with education loan as their funding option. And also we'll see how and why ICICI is a one-stop solution for availing education loan. Okay, so let us go into my first slide. Just a second. Yeah, so as I discussed my agenda, so we'll be discussing the various funding options, and also we'll discuss why education loan is the best funding option, and also we'll discuss about the tax benefit as well, and we'll discuss ICICI loan features and the differentiation, and we'll open for Q&A. Okay, so let me go to the first slide. So before starting it, actually, I would like to tell you a scenario where, if at all, if a student wants to do their higher studies, the first and foremost thing that will come into the mind of both the student and the parent will definitely will be the financial thing that is associated with the course. I hope everyone was aware that in both in India and abroad as well, right now universities are charging the lump sum amount as their tuition fee, right? So So definitely it's a decision point for both the student and parent to overcome this financial stress that they are going through, right? In that particular scenario, so obviously both the student and parent will think of all the funding options that are available, right? So let us see the perspective of a student first, and let us see the perspective of a parent as well. Key what all funding options they will consider, and then we will look into how the education loan will be the best option among all these funding options. So let us see the options that a student will consider. So if you see, obviously the first thing that will come into the mind of the student will be that he will avail a scholarship. Yes, there are few universities that will be providing some scholarships either in India or in abroad. But I'm making it clear that, see, scholarships to avail this, there will be some eligibility criteria. And every student must understand that the scholarship will not be given 100%, and obviously it will be some 20 to 30% itself on an average. So what about the remaining amount, right? The student must think about it. And the second thing, the thing that will come into the minds of student will be study awards. Yes, there are few universities which will, provide some fee waivers to the students who perform exceptionally well in their academics, right? So even in that case also, we need to understand that it will be given to only the top most students who perform exceptionally well, and that too it is limited to only few universities. It's not been given to the all the universities that we are going to. Okay. And let us see the other options as well. So they will consider, some, part-time opportunities. Either it might be in the campus or outside the campus. So this is most relevant to the students who are going abroad. So students obviously will try to, see opportunities inside the campus and outside the campus as well. Right, but I hope everyone is aware that there are some countries which are allowing to do this, but there are a lot of countries which are not allowing to do this. Right. And the fourth option that will come into their minds will be the savings, to utilize the savings that they already have. And the final option is education loan. Right? So these are the things that will come into the mind of a student whenever he wanted to do his higher studies. So let us see the perspective of a parent as well, right? So let us see what parent will consider as the funding options. First and foremost thing, obviously the available savings. So obviously parents will be keeping some money every month to to spend it in some cases where the money is required. So they will be having some savings that has been done from past few years. So they wanted to utilize that money. So this is the first option that they'll consider. And if you go forward, and even they'll think of pulling out some money from the provident fund as well, and they'll think of some employer loans, and also they'll think of asking relatives or friends as well. Let us see. Yes, few people will think of asset liquidation, which is nothing but just selling of already existing properties, right? So it might be a flat or a building or a field, whatever it may be, and even people will think of just breaking already existing fixed deposits and all that stuff. It's simply asset liquidation. They'll try to. And the final option, they'll think of taking an education loan as well. So we have seen all the funding opportunities that will come into the minds of both the students and the parents whenever the student got an opportunity to do his or her higher studies, right? So let us see the best option, the best funding option that is available right now among all these funding options that have been considered. So let us see. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Whatever you're thinking is right. Education loan is the best funding option among all the funding options that are being revolved around your mind. Let us see why it is the best option. Let us understand the benefits of availing an education loan. Yes, it is the best option. Let us see why. The first and foremost option, lot of parents and students are not aware that if at all if a student is availing an education loan, there will be a tax benefit associated with it under section 80E. So it must be clear to all the parents and students that you are eligible, both the applicant or either the co-applicant is eligible to get a tax benefit under section 80E. So it's nothing but, I'll just elaborate it because I do have a separate slide to explain with an example as well. So just to give a brief about this, it's nothing but whatever the interest, whatever the interest that you're paying on the education loan can be availed as a tax benefit. Okay. So there is no upper cap on it. Let us say a student taken a 20 lakh education loan and he has paid 2 lakh interest in a financial year. So either an applicant or a co-applicant can use that particular interest as a tax benefit. So it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing that a student and parent can consider. Okay. And let us see other options as well. Yeah. Own savings can be safeguarded. Yes, this is very important point because a lot of parents will thought of using their own savings in to the education for their kids. But please understand, if at all, if the parent has utilized the savings for the education or the higher education for the kids, then all of a sudden, if some health emergency arrives, let's say some health emergency happened to the immediate family members, then what they'll do, right? They need to think about it. So then, in that case, as already the entire savings has been used, they will go with a personal loan, which is way more costlier than education loan. So it's better to keep the savings as it is and better to go with education loan so that those savings can be utilized in the future for any health emergencies. Or they can do even a better option is, as we are getting this education loan at a very less cost, you can find some good investments and you can invest this particular amount for good returns, right? Yeah. And yes, as I discussed, education loan is relatively cheaper with compared to other loans and the moratorium options as well. Yes, I hope students might be aware that there will be a moratorium period where the students is not required to repay, I mean, to start the repayment of the loan till the course plus a 6 months moratorium period will be given. In this period, it's not required for the student to repay the loan, and if at all if they want to, they can do it. But if they don't want to, they can pay after the completion of the course plus a 6 months moratorium period will be given to the students, which is not available for any other loans. Okay. And we can see the disbursement based on requirement. Yes, this is one of the beautiful thing that is associated with education loan. The parents must understand the university requirement will differ. Okay, so university will ask the fees in parts of in branches, like in different multiple disbursements. Okay, so if at all if you take a personal loan rather than an education loan, so personal loan will be given in a single shot. Okay, the disbursement happens in a single shot. The complete amount, let us say a student is applying for a 20 lakh, they give the 20 lakh in a single shot. But here an education loan, it's completely different. So if it, according to the requirement of the university and the student, we will disburse in tranches. We will disburse in multiple, we will do a multiple disbursements. So what happens is we can pay the interest only to the disbursement amount only. Okay, let us say a 10 lakh amount is being disbursed in the first year. So we will pay interest for the 10 lakhs only in the first year, and if we disburse another 10 lakhs in the second year, so the interest will start from the second year only for that another 10 lakhs, right? So we do have an option of disbursement based on the requirements. And also authenticated document support for admission and visa, and I hope this is mostly to the abroad students. So see, it's not a simple step. There is a lot of multiple steps involved if at all if a student wants to go abroad. Okay. So in that entire process, there will be a lot of documentation process required by the the country and the visa agencies and all that stuff. So during that time, bank will support you by providing all the authenticated documents required. Okay, and obviously, the end-to-end assistance, whatever the bank can do, it will provide to the student in terms of the counseling, whatever the options that are available with bank will try to help to the maximum. And yes, this is a very important point that parents must understand that the responsible lifestyle in abroad will happen. If at all, if the student was given a burden of education loan, what happens is he will feel the responsibility of that loan because he needs to repay that particular loan. So what happens is whatever the lifestyle that he is following, he will go ahead with the responsible one. He will try to, complete the course in the perfect time and he will try to get a proper job so that he can repay the loan and he can start repaying the loan. So he'll feel the responsibility of his career and the loan as well. So this particular point is very important and parent must understand. And also it will helps in building a credit history because if at all if the student avail this education loan and if he is repaying it properly, so in the future if he wants to avail any other further loan, it can be easily availed. So considering all these beautiful benefits that are associated with education loan, it's not at all a good idea to use the savings that are already existing with us or going ahead with selling of properties and all that stuff. It's availing an education loan is the right funding option. Okay. So I wanted to emphasize more on the tax benefit part as well, because there are a lot of students and parents who are not aware about this. And I'm just emphasizing on one more point as well. So the tax benefit can be provided by only the nationalized and public sector banks. It is not possible to give by an NBFC this tax benefit offer. An NBFC cannot give any sort of tax benefit, only the banks can provide it. Okay. So I will explain you a bit clearly by taking an example. So let us say a student is applying for a 20 lakh education loan and at the rate of interest 12%. Okay. So in that particular scenario, if at all, if you consider for a financial year, let us say the complete 20 lakhs is being disbursed, okay, at an interest of 12%. So if I consider for a financial year, the interest paid will be 2,40,000, the 12% of 20 lakhs. Let us consider the parent of the student is in a 30% slab. Okay. So if we consider this 30% savings on 2,40,000, it comes to 72,000. So you are able to save 72,000 taxes without paying to IT. Okay. So if you calculate the effective interest paid, it will comes to 1,68,000. So it is the simple difference between the interest paid 2,40,000 and the 72,000, which is a tax benefit. Okay. So if you calculate the effective ROI, it comes to 8.4%. So even though if at all you are availing the loan at 12%, but the effective ROI is coming to 8.4%. So you can avail a tax benefit of around 72,000 rupees in a financial year. And I would like to emphasize on this particular point that there is no upper cap to avail any interest, or to avail this tax benefit. There is no upper cap. You can avail as much as you can the interest paid in that particular financial year. Okay. So I hope this is clear, the tax benefit part. Now, I hope everyone was convinced of taking education loan. So now let us go with our product of education loan. So let us see the product iSmart. I introduced iSmart, the one and only education loan product of ICICI. Okay. So let us see the features of ICICI education loan. We provide an education loan up to rupees 1 crore. This is beautiful thing. Actually, we can provide loan up to rupees 1 crore because there are a lot of universities abroad which are charging a fees of almost 60 to 18 lakhs, right? So the complete amount we will bear it. I mean, the complete amount can be given as an education loan to the student if at all if he coming to us. And if you can see, there are a lot of UG colleges abroad which are going beyond 1 crore as well, right? For those universities also we can fund, but we have a limit of 1 crore depending upon the university and the course that the student opt into. Okay. And one more beautiful thing is that we can give an unsecured loan of up to 40 lakhs. An unsecured loan without any collateral, depending upon, please note, depending upon the university and the course, we can go up to rupees unsecured loan of 40 lakhs. Okay. And yes, we do have a list of universities. I mean, the big list of universities and courses we are funding, both in India and abroad as well. And also, we will provide end-to-end assistance to the student. Yeah, we do have flexible repayments and part payments options as well. So let us say, if at all if a student, the tenure is 8 years for us. So if at all if the student wants to repay the loan amount, let us say a student has taken 20 lakhs of loan amount and he wants to clear, I mean, he might have got some money and he wants to clear out at least 2 to 3 lakhs of amount. Immediately he can do it, no problem at all. Okay, he can do a part payment, easy payment, anything he can do. There is no problem in doing that. Yes, in the selected cities, in few selected cities, we do have our dedicated relationship managers. So these people will be coming to your place, to your doorstep to, do the entire documentation process, and we will sanction the loan then in that particular period as well. So it's not required for you to come to any branches in selected locations. Okay, in mostly in all the tier 1 cities, we do have our relationship managers. They'll come to your place and they'll do the entire documentation process, and they will take it forward for the sanctioning part. And yes, it's quick and hassle-free services that we provide. And as I already discussed, ICICI Bank provides you the complete support for availing the tax benefit under Section 80E. Whatever the certificate, because while applying to this tax benefit, we need to submit a certificate from bank. So we will be providing completely support from our end. Okay. So these are the basic features of our product iSmart, and we can see the product differentiation as well. Yes. So as I already mentioned, in the moratorium period, so in the course period plus 6 months, whatever I have discussed, in this particular period, we only charge simple interest. Okay. So compared to other NBFCs which are charging compounding interest by showing less interest rate in the initial stages, we won't do that. So we will go ahead with the simple interest only in the moratorium period. Okay. And yes, for the pricing part, so we follow the repo rate. Okay, if once a student was given a rate of interest by considering all the profile of the student and the institute and the course, we will be giving a proper rate of interest. From that period, the floating interest rate will vary based upon the repo rate. So there is no hidden cost in it. It all depends on the repo rate, which will be, you know, tuned by RBI. Okay. So as our bank is huge and it's a very big bank, as you all know that, so we are you know work in line with the RBI guidelines. Okay, so whatever the policies, whatever the norms that have been told by RBI will be followed by us, and the KYC norms, collateral security, everything will be in line with the RBI guidelines. Okay, as I already mentioned, there is no hidden cost in the pricing part. And also there is you can foreclose the loan as well if required, but it must be with a proper reason. If at all, if there is no such proper reason, I mean, if there is a proper reason, then obviously, you can foreclose a loan as well. And as I already mentioned, the part payments, let us say if you want to repay a 2 lakh or a 3 lakh amount in the loan tenure, you can do it at any time, at any point of time. Okay. And yes, we do provide some moratorium extension also, and it's completely subjected to the ICICI guidelines. So if at all, if you feel that we need to do in that particular situation, definitely we will provide some moratorium extension as well. Okay. So let us see some more differentiations and yes. So as I already mentioned, the tax benefit part, we will give the complete support for both an applicant and the co-applicant to avail this tax benefit. Okay. And the prepayment charges are not at all available, and the financial co-borrower, and in few cases what happens is, if at all, if the student is really meritorious, and if he got a very good GRE score and all, with irrespective of the non-financial co-borrower, we can sanction the loan as well. Okay. And the top up amount, so in case if at all, if a particular university wants some extra amount, if at all, if a loan is sanctioned for 20 lakhs, but in some cases, if at all, if the university wants some extra amount like a 5 lakh or something like that, if we can do that as well with the bare minimum documentation and process. Okay. And yes, unsecured loan, we are providing unsecured loan depending upon the university and the course that the student is opting for, and that unsecured loan will go up to rupees 40 lakhs. Okay. Yeah, this is one of the beautiful thing that ICICI have. We do have our in-house forex remittance team. So these people will take the burden of transferring the entire tuition fee to the universities. It's not tricky. It's not at all the headache of the student. It's headache of the ICICI only. We will take care of all these things. So the tuition fee, the amount that needs to be transferred to the university will be done by our forex remittance team itself. So they will remit the entire amount to the university, and the living expenses, what we'll do is we'll just load in the forex or travel card, and we will directly give it to the student so that he can use it in the country, wherever the country that he's going to. Okay. So this is not available with the outside NBFCs because they don't have any in-house forex team, but we do have, ICICI have this forex remittance team to take care of all these things. Okay. And yes, we don't take any security check or something like that, which other NBFCs are taking, but we just only take the security mandate. That's it. Okay. So, I would like to introduce one important thing that we came up with very recently. I would like to talk about this, iSmart folder. So all the students who are availing education loan from ICICI will be getting this particular iSmart folder. So in which we are providing, the beautiful vouchers to the student where, so I mean, it's more relevant to the abroad going students where, if a student is going to abroad, so first what he'll think is he will be doing some, shopping in India, right? So to assist in that, we have provided, different vouchers, kept in that. We do have some partnership with different brands. So all these vouchers were kept in that particular iSmart folder, and this particular folder will be handed out to the students. So this is one of the unique thing. No banks or no NBHS are doing it. So we are providing to the students, and we have launched it very recently. Okay. So yes, and now in this current COVID situation, we are working effortlessly, and the entire team is working effortlessly to provide, you know, services without any interruption. Okay. So I hope everyone was safe, and I think I'm done with my presentation from my end. So Gurpreet, thanks for this opportunity. I'm just handing over this to Mr. Gurpreet. Thanks one and all. So now I will open this particular session for Q&A. Gurpreet, please take it over.
Uh, we we at Eduloans, the entire team, would like to thank Mr. Nikhilesh K for taking us through such a wonderful presentation and telling us about the benefits that ICICI has to offer to students for their education loans. Now we will open the session for a question and answer session where students can feel free to post their questions in the chat box, which I shall be reading out to Nikhilesh, and he will be providing the answers. You can also see a few numbers on your screen. These are the numbers for the loan counselors at Eduloans. In case if after this session you need to speak to someone at Eduloans to inquire uh, further details about the ICICI loan product, our team will be more than happy to assist you for the same. So proceeding with the first question that I already see, which was asked during the session, is hi there. Just in case if something happens to the student who has taken such a hefty loan, uh, what will happen in case if the student goes through some kind of problems? Are there any insurance options available?
Yes, yes. Whatever the loan that we are providing to the student will come with an insurance also. Okay, so the insurance can be available by the student during the sanction process of the loan. Yes, we do provide some insurance options as well to the students. That too, the insurance is provided by ICICI itself, because we do have our in-house insurance partner as well in ICICI.
The next question is, will you fund online courses in case visa is not available?
So for this particular thing, we are working on it. As of now, we don't have any option of funding the online courses, but we are working on it. Maybe in the future, we can come up with a plan of funding the online courses as well. But as of now, we are not, but we are working on it.
So once ICICI has the option available, Nikhilesh, we would request you to revert back to the Eduloans team in regards to the same, and
Yes, absolutely.
we shall communicate this to the students via the necessary means, via
Okay,
email or through communication with them. Uh,
okay.
the next question that has come up is, what is the rate of interest?
So the students and parents must understand that rate of interest will be dependent on a lot of factors. Okay. So the factors will be like the institute that the student is going to, and the course to that the student opted for, and also the country and the student's profile and the co-applicant's profile as well. So it is dependent on lot of factors. I cannot exactly tell the what is the interest rate for an individual, but I can give an interval of around 11% to 13%. But it all depends on the university and the course and the country to which the student is going to. So if at all, if the student wants to understand clearly or the actual exact rate of interest for himself, I mean, definitely they can contact the Eduloan counselors so that they'll direct to our ICICI team. Definitely, our team will help them out to understand their own the rate of interest for that particular individual. But the interval is around 11% to 13%.
The next question is from Priyanka, and she would like to know, would I be able to get a loan for Wollongong University, Australia?
Yes, we are providing loan to for the education in Australia as well. So as she is specific about the institute, so we do have an institute list. So to understand more clearly what is the interest rate and all the factors to understand more clearly, definitely she will be able to get the education loan. As it is mostly, it's like an individual question, she can directly come in contact with our relationship manager. Okay, so that we'll take it forward for that particular loan. Good.
The next question is any advantage for wealth management customers?
So
Uh, if the question is not clear, we can tell the student to reframe the question and put it.
So wealth management, yes, yes. So there is no such privilege that as of now we are offering to this wealth, management managed customers. But yes, definitely we will work on it in terms of maybe the ROI or in the similar lines. But as of now, there is no such privilege that we are offering to wealth customers. Hello?
Yeah, you're audible.
Yes, yes, good, good. Yes, please go ahead with the next question.
Sure. So the next question is ICICI Bank will finance the Canadian diploma or postgraduate diploma program. So the student is ideally trying to ask, will it?
Gurpreet, I'm not able to hear you. Hello? Can you please
Yeah,
repeat the question? I'm so sorry.
can
Yes,
can
yes, yes,
you
yes.
now?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So the student is asking, will ICICI Bank be able to finance the Canadian diploma or post graduation diploma programs?
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Yes, I mean, the student can avail loans for the Canadian diploma programs as well. Yes. And to answer the question, the previous question, hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, to answer the previous question that one lady asked about this Wollongong University in Australia, yes, we are providing loan for that as well because it is there in our category of list. Okay, and we can provide up to 20 lakhs of unsecured loan for that. Okay, so please note. Yeah,
Nikhilesh, just to
yes,
confirm in here that
yes.
post the 12th for Canada, people go in for a diploma program after 12th. So does ICICI Bank fund the undergraduate diploma programs? Simply, a
Okay,
lot of
so
people go to,
okay, fine.
especially Canada, especially people for Canada go for undergraduate diploma
Okay,
programs.
okay,
Does
okay, okay. Please, understood,
ICICI Bank
understood. So I
pay for
thought
that?
it's like it's like I thought it's like a postgraduate diploma program. So
No, the
we
question
need
was both postgrad or undergrad and undergrad.
okay, okay. So for this, we need to look into this because for diploma courses, again, it depends on the university and the university to which they are opting to, basically. So based upon that, we will take a call whether to go ahead or not for those diploma courses.
Because
Yeah.
Nikhilesh, if you do undergraduate diploma programs, there is a lot of students who look for that option, especially from the north, from
Okay.
Punjab. There you will
Okay.
get a lot of students of that from there.
Sure, sure, sure. Definitely, we'll look into this. Yeah.
The next question is, suppose if I defer my admit to the next fall, will my sanction loan remain, or would I have to resubmit my documents again for processing?
This particular thing, as this COVID situation is, prevailing outside, we are facing the same issue. Okay. So, if at all, if the case got sanctioned and if the university deferred the course and if the student wants to join again and maybe in the next intake, yeah. So what happens is we are thinking that the sanction will remain same, but we'll cancel the loan and they can rebook. But the documentation process, everything, it's not required to redo the entire documentation process and all that stuff. But we'll do the rebook of case. Yes. And the sanction amount, if at all, if the student is going to the same university in the same course, the sanction amount, everything will remain same, but we will rebook the case. That's it.
The next question is for students going abroad and wanting to avail unsecured loan, what should be the minimum income of parents, comma, CIBIL score, comma, GRE score, and IELTS or TOEFL score?
So I can answer. See, for the income and the CIBIL score and all that stuff, please get in touch with our ICICI team members. But for GRE, it must be at least more than 300. Okay. So that we'll think of, because so can you please repeat, Gurpreet? The question is like to get
Yes.
the entire loan amount, unsecured loan amount of 40 lakhs is what the student's query is, right?
So he's not asking about the amount, but
Okay.
in general, he's asking for students going abroad and wanting to avail unsecured loan. What should be
Mhm.
the minimum income of parents, CIBIL score, GRE score, and IELTS or TOEFL score?
Yes, I can answer for the GRE. So mostly it must be 300 plus to avail this unsecured loan. And for the basic income criteria and the CIBIL score, please get in touch with our team because it also varies depending upon the profile. Okay. So we will match both the university and the course and the profile of the co-applicant as well. So it varies. So it's better to get in touch with our team to understand more clearly what are the basic requirements for the CIBIL and the income requirements. Okay. So please let them get in touch with your team so that your team can guide us with our RM contact
Uh,
details. Yeah.
So one student has a question that was already answered, but I will still provide the answer to the same. So the question is, what is the maximum amount that can be sanctioned for non-collateral, and what are the requirements? So to answer to this, the maximum amount is 40 lakh of rupees from ICICI Bank, and the requirements would be the students' academics, the students' competitive exam scores, the parents' ITR, that is the IT returns for the last 2 years would be looked upon. Besides that, the CIBIL report of the co-applicants, as well as the course and the college or university that the student is planning to go to. Nikhilesh, is that correct, or would something
Yes,
else
yes, yes.
be
You're
required
correct.
to
You're
be?
correct. Absolutely correct.
Okay, so I hope that answers the student's question. The next question is, do you provide loans for undergraduate courses?
Yes, we do provide loans for undergraduate and graduate courses, but again, I'm emphasizing that it depends on the institute and the course as well. But we do provide for UG in India and abroad as well.
The next question is, do you disburse the amount to university directly or transfer the amount to students or parents account?
It all depends on the requirement. So in the most of the cases, what we'll do is because as I already mentioned, we do have our in-house remittance team. So they'll directly remit the tuition fee into the university bank account.
The next question is there any minimum requirement to be eligible for education loan? For example, the undergraduate GPA or GRE or GMAT score?
Yes, definitely. Uh, GRE score, I mean, all these are like parameters. So we don't say that we are completely dependent on this, but these are also some parameters that we will consider while assessing and coming up with a proper unsecured loan amount and all that stuff. So these are one of the factors, but these are not the complete factors that we are dependent on.
I am applying for a master degree in business analytics and masters in international business in Wollongong University. Would I be eligible for non-secured loan up to 40 lakhs?
So again, I already discussed. So this unsecured loan of 40 lakhs is dependent upon the course and the institute. Okay, so it varies. We do have some categorization of courses and institutes. So depending upon the categorization, we will come up with how much loan amount will be secured and how much loan amount will be unsecured. Okay, so if he wants to know in detail ki how much he will be getting for that university that he has mentioned, please get in touch with our team. Our team will help him out in understanding ki how much is the uh, you know uh, unsecured loan that he will be availing from ICICI, and also how much amount he needs to show the mortgage, and all that stuff will be discussed by our RM. So if at all if he wants to know according to his university, please get in touch with our team. They'll clearly explain you, because we do have categorization of universities dependent upon which we will be providing the amount of secured and unsecured loan.
Do you finance certification courses or entrance exams?
So even this, we are working on it, but if at all if we found that particular certification course is really worthwhile to invest, definitely we'll go ahead. But again, it depends on whether it is risk free for us as well, because we'll see the employment opportunities as well after the certification course. So we think, I mean, it depends. So if he wants to know us, please get in touch with us. But as of now, we don't have a exact product for funding the certification courses and all, but we are working on it. If at all if the student wants to avail, they can get in touch with us and they can tell us about the certification course, what he is looking for, and if he is feasible to do it, we will definitely do it.
Mhm. I do see a lot of questions coming in. So the next one is, what expenses are covered in education loans?
Yes. So the living expenses, basically, just a second. Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, just a second, please. Yeah. So the living expenses that will be incurred by the student while living there in abroad, and also the travel expenses, and the laptop, if at all if he wants to buy, and all the books, and all these living expenses, both in the abroad, and also the travel expenses, and if he wants to buy any sort of products that will assist in his education, that will also be included in the living. I mean, all this will be uh, considered.
The next question is, what are the requirements for a collateral loan?
So it requirements for a collateral loan. So in which terms, actually I didn't understand the question. So he wants to ask with respect to the documentation purpose and all that stuff.
Uh, so the question is not that clear. We would request the student to reframe the question and put it again so that we can answer it to the fullest. The next question is, what are the requirements? I'm sorry, it's the same question getting repeated again. I'll just leave that question for the time being. Uh, do you Sorry, what type of property should I show for collateral or secured education loan? Is agricultural land valid?
uh, so just a second. No, so yeah, good. Please note that agricultural land is not valid as collateral. So we consider the assets like any the flats or apartments, some assets like this, and also we accept FD as a collateral, but not the fields. No.
Okay. The next question is, in how many working days do you sanction a loan if all documents are perfect?
Please come again. Your voice is breaking. Gurpreet. Can you
Oh,
please come again?
I'm sorry, I'll repeat that. In how
Yeah.
many working days do you sanction a loan if all documents are perfect?
So in a week time, actually, in a week and maximum to 2 weeks, we can, process this loan. Maximum of 2 weeks. So 1 to 2 weeks is the period. Maximum, I mean, a minimum of 1 week and a maximum of 2 weeks we can do it.
Are any processing charges applicable?
Processing charges, right? Processing fee, yes, it is applicable. It is applicable and it is 1% on the loan amount.
Uh, the next question is, if student is planning for off-campus stay, so student would be required to submit rent agreement for disbursement.
So if the student wants to stay outside, I think it doesn't, it doesn't matter. The disbursement is directly connected with the university, right? So it's not related.
Okay, so you are saying that the rent agreement, is it a requirement or is it's not a requirement?
So no, according to my knowledge, it's not a requirement. No.
Okay, thank you. Um, can you provide sanction letter without mentioning the university or the college name?
Yes, in few cases we do that because without mentioning the university, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so I mean, we are working on that particular model. See, there are few students who really perform absolutely well in GRE. So if at all if they're securing a very good GRE score, yes, we can offer a pre-sanction as well with the, before the university. But we are working on it. We are working on that particular model. But if at all if a particular case comes like that, we will look into it and we'll do it.
What is the turnaround time for secured and unsecured loan?
Hello?
Yeah, were
Yeah,
you able to hear me?
so yes. So for the secured loan, it will take almost 15 days. Okay. And for an unsecured loan, it will be a 7 to 8 working days.
Uh, what are your loan processing fees? That question was already answered. We'll move to the next question. Living, travel, visa, equipment, example, laptop and stationery. Are all of these covered?
Yes. You already answered
Okay.
this question. Yes.
So the next question is, give me a second, let me just check. So someone has a question, what are secured and unsecured loans and what are NBFCs? So we would request the student to contact the team at Eduloans on the numbers given on the screen, and they would be able to give you a detailed description about the same. Uh, for secured loan, do flats need to have occupancy certificate?
So can you please repeat? If for unsecured,
No. For secured loans, do the flats need to have OC, occupancy certificate?
for flats,
Yeah.
yes. Occupancy certificate is must. Yes.
Okay. Do you provide pre-visa disbursement of loan?
Yes, we do provide pre-visa disbursements.
Uh,
For the selected countries, wherever it is required, yes, we do pre-visa disbursements as
okay. We'll just take this as the last question of the day. I'm sure everybody has, spent their time today being working from home. Some are working from home, some are in their homes because of the coronavirus, and we hope that this situation improves at the earliest for all, and we pray to God for the well-being of all the mankind worldwide. So the last question is there any difference in rate of interest for collateral and non-collateral loans?
well. So you need to understand. Yes, there is a difference. Okay. But as I already mentioned, it depends on the university and the course, and the interval will be 11% to 13%, and there is a difference.
So just the last question, there was just one last question that popped up. I'll just keep this as the last question. And if the students have any further questions, they can get in touch with the loan counselors at Eduloans on the numbers that are flashing on the screen. So can shares or mutual funds be considered as security for a secured loan?
No, we are not considering those equity properties as collateral. No.
So I hope that answers the questions that were put forward by by the students to the presenter, Mr. Nikhilesh K, who's representing ICICI Bank today. Thank you so much, one and all, for being a part of this series. These are this is one of the webinar series that Eduloans has been conducting for a couple of weeks, starting from the month of January. You can feel free to view these webinar series on our website. You can log on to our portal, which is www.eduloans.org, where you can view all the previous presentations and the previous webinar sessions taken by our other financial partners, including ICICI Bank. And this recording will be available to view on our website in the next 2 to 3 days. We once again thank Mr. Nikhilesh K on behalf of Eduloans and the entire team at ICICI to arrange this wonderful presentation and for taking this webinar. And I'm sure during this tough time of the coronavirus, the COVID-19, which we all are praying that it should end soon, these questions and answers that we got to hear today would be of utmost and great help to the students. And I'm sure situations will improve over a period of time. And I now hand over to Nikhilesh for the last words from his side, and so that we can call it a session.
Yeah, thank you so much, Gurpreet, and thanks each and everyone who joined this particular call. Thanks for this wonderful opportunity. I hope actually, we had a very interactive session. I got a lot of queries and I hope we have tried answering those questions. So if at all, if you have any further queries, this is to all the students, you can get in touch with the EduLoans team so that, they'll direct to our ICICI team as well. Yes, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.
So a lot of thanks coming your way, Nikhilesh. Students are putting thanks in the chat box, and they also have mentioned that it was a great session. It was a good session taken, and they loved it. They would definitely want to be a part of the forthcoming sessions if there are any conducted by ICICI Bank. So that's a very positive note, and we would like to end this session with this positive note. Thank you all, and bye for now.